Connectedness.
Odyssey. Challenging.
Explore.
Discovery.
Co-creation.
Invested.
Together. Today we are hosting an event for Greater Glasgow and Clyde Occupational Therapy Services, who have been on a learning journey with us for over a year. About 3 years ago we ran a programme for them, and about 8 years before that 2 of the senior leaders came on a programme that I was running, a development programme for allied health professionals. So there's a history and a relationship there which makes this morning even more exciting than these mornings are anyway. And the lovely thing about this particular programme is that we genuinely didn't have an idea how to do some of it. So it's been as much a learning journey for Fiona McNeill Associates, and particularly for James Brown and myself, supporting this group over a period of time.
One of the unintended consequences, I think, that's been a big thing has been the connection that everybody's had. We had events for them, but then we had different meetings every so often that everybody got together. And one of the things that really shone from that was the fact that people were meeting their colleagues that they would know them, but they had never really had a lot of great connection with them. But now, because they're all from different groups, they're all getting together, that's been for me, I've noticed a really big thing with them is a real connection, that they've all suddenly started working differently together and knowing each other and having conversations with each other that I don't think they would have had they not done this programme.
So in and around design thinking, there's a kind of way of working called guided mastery. The idea of guided mastery is not just that you have people in rooms, but you kind of follow them back to where they're working. So James and I have been back and forward to their actual working environment, seeing how they're getting on with their thinking, with their prototyping, and prototyping is a massive piece in this particular methodology, so around thinking with your hands rather than just thinking with your head.
Throughout the process there's been both kind of challenges that have maybe at the time felt negative but have turned out to be positive, and also positive challenges of just thinking in different ways, and I suppose pushed us out of our comfort zone but in a good way, and helped us kind of rethink what we do and how we really involve the patients in everything that we do.
The service users have really been involved in this, and that's one of the things that we kept at the heart of it, was making sure that the teams that we were working with went back to the service users all the time to find out what it is that they needed.
So we spent a lot of time out there with them, challenging them and saying, so have you gone back to your patients with this? Have you gone back to the people that use services with this? Because that's at the heart of design thinking. It's a human-centred design piece. Cheryl and Catherine have been really engaged with this process as learners as well as commissioners of this learning. So they've been on the journey with us. And I know from both Cheryl and Catherine that they've said that that has enabled them and their people to have conversations that they would not have previously had.
If you'd said to me, well, you know, your practice is missing the patient, I would have been very insulted and said, no, you know, the patient is at the heart of my practice. But you get involved in what process we should do, you know, to make things better. You do forget it, no matter how hard you try and remember. What we got out of that information was our patients do not feel involved in their discharge. They don't feel part of it. Now we had to change that. I think the temptation and when you want to improve things is to, can you go for like, how do we fix this, this is how we fix it, instead of saying, you know what, we need to go through a process and take time to truly understand what it is that needs fixed.
Mm-hmm. And helped us kind of rethink what we do and how we really involve the patients in everything that we do, which we haven't maybe always done as much as we think we do.
So this, I think, has allowed people to be much more creative with what they're doing and solve problems in a way that they would never have thought of had they not done design thinking.
And for me, like, that was a huge success, but also quite a surprise, because we were faced with quite a lot of restrictions, but we still managed to overcome that just by how creative we were.
Actually, it can work in any setting. It's just you're going to adapt it to what it is that you're looking at. But it's bringing together ideas of people. It's getting people to think of things and doing things in ways they wouldn't have done before.
For patients in forensic mental health, possibly more than anywhere else, they're not always encouraged to come up with their own ideas, do you know, because it can be quite kind of an adult-child relationship. So for them to be invited into a space and be spoken to and asked their opinions in an adult-to-adult way, they just loved that. And certainly for my learning, I'll definitely be using that again with people.
And just that ability to start to look at things differently and not go down the same path that you would always go to solve a problem. And they'll bring in people from different areas who might have an impact, which maybe they wouldn't have done before. One of the things you'll hear people saying a lot when you're working with health professionals is that the service user or the patient is at the heart of everything, but people might be doing their own thing as far as that service user is concerned. But this kind of programme has brought them together so that everybody's thinking about that in a connected way.
Our project was education and technology and how we can take that into the future of forensic occupational therapy.
And we expected radically different opinions, but actually we were all kind of thinking along the same lines, which was really, really inspiring. And I think also the fact that we've grown together as a team and we're changed our thinking and about our approach to things. And I think at times, as we said, it's felt like a bit of a challenge, but it's been so positive overall. I think that's been a surprising thing, is how much we've grown together and been united and really wanting to take this forward and not thinking this is a polished end product, but actually that this is the way forward. This is how we are now going to be as a service.
This has been really good for me to look at things a different way, working with patients in a different way, have more their ideas rather than someone saying, this is what we're doing, you know, this is, are you happy to be involved in this? Really looking at it from their angle and looking at what they want to do, not what I want them to do.
It really, at the heart of it, it's that whole piece around generative conversations and connecting to people as people, and irrespective of you know, where they are and where they find themselves.
I think invested. We've invested in the team, we've invested in the service, I feel invested in, I think the patients have been invested in, we've invested time. It just can cover an awful lot, so yes, I think that's going to be my word.
It has really enabled us to understand, if we have an opportunity to do this with another organisation, what it is that we need to do now that we probably didn't know before. So it's been a really co-created learning journey, which has been really, really important for us.